There's a ritual I return to almost every day. I read something, a paragraph, a poem, sometimes just a single line, and then I write one page. Not an essay, not analysis, just one page, whatever comes to my mind. Over time, I began to understand that this wasn't just journaling, it was something more deliberate, a way of letting literature accompany my inner life. There's a field, quietly established, academically studied, that explores the relationship between reading and psychological well being. Some call it bibliotherapy, but I prefer to think of it as a personal reading practice with therapeutic intelligence, not prescribing books to fix emotions, but allowing text to sit beside experience. Writers have always known this intuitively. Virginia Woolf wrote about reading as a form of participation, not consumption. Marcel Proust described books as optical instruments that help us see ourselves more clearly. And long before the term bibliotherapy entered academic vocabulary, thinkers like Rabindranath Tagore treated literature as interior dialogue, a way of refining perception rather than escaping reality. The blank page becomes a mirror, but one that reflects gently. Here's how the practice works in simple terms. You read slowly, maybe a page of Annie Dillard, a stanza from A.K. Ramanujan, a paragraph from Rachel Cass. Then you write one page, but not a summary. You ask, what did this awaken? Where did I resist? What sentences stayed with me? What did I feel but not fully understand? You're not interpreting the author, you're noticing yourself in relation to the text. That shift is everything. In more clinical settings, reading has been used to support grief processing, identity development, even trauma recovery. But in personal practice, it's gentler. You're not diagnosing, you're not solving, you're cultivating narrative coherence. Psychologically, this matters. When you put words to experience, we move from raw sensation to structured meaning, not to erase complexity, but to hold it. Consider Mahashweta Devi. Her stories don't soothe, they confront. Writing after reading her forces you to ask, what discomfort did I encounter and why? Or Anita Nair, whose work often lingers in the interior landscape of women negotiating silence. A single reflective page after such reading becomes a space where your own identity, your own interiority gains language. This is not dramatic transformation, it's calibration. Many people journal from emotion outward. This practice journal from text inward. The book becomes a third presence in the room. There is you, there's your experience, and there is the language that meditates between the two. That triangulation prevents rumination because you're not spiraling alone, you're in conversation. Reading is a conversation, writing is a conversation. One page is deliberate, it creates containment. Too little and you skim your feelings, too much and you drift into abstraction. One page forces articulation, you must choose words carefully. That cognitive constraint strengthens emotional clarity, and clarity is often more healing than catharsis. Over time, something subtle happens. Your reading becomes more attentive, your writing becomes more precise, your interior life becomes more legible. Not because it is fixed, but because it is witnessed by you. One page a day, not to perform, not to produce literature, but to practice living in dialogue with what you read. And in that dialogue, you begin to understand yourself, without forcing resolution.